It won't really work cause we build a wall. Questions in the air, tears on the floor. It's hard in me to go, baby, you don't know. Unsere Liebe war nicht so wie Love at first sight.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and also go and check out my previous videos. And if you're not, thank you so much for staying and welcome back. So today's video is a story time that I thought I should share with you guys. It's something that happened a long time ago and it was pretty hilarious when it happened. Now it's hilarious now that it's over. And I just thought of sharing it with you guys. So let's just get right into it. Okay. Also, welcome back to my channel and let me just get right into the story. So the story, I don't know how to tell stories actually. So this is what happened, right? In my previous video, I was telling you guys about where I went to primary school. And this particular thing I'm going to talk about happened. So I'm not going to mention the school where it happened. But but I'm just going to talk about it. It was in my primary school. Yeah. I already mentioned the school. What am I talking about? You're distracting me. Kannst du bitte gehen? Danke. Tschüss. So I was in grade 7, right? Which was in the year 2011, I think. Yeah. And I loved dancing, right? It's been since forever like that I've always liked dancing. So I was in grade 7. I was the sorry. So I was saying, I was in grade 7, right? And then I had a best friend of mine. Her name was Linod. I don't think she minds me mentioning her on this video because it's now pretty a hilarious story when we come to think of it. This is not a thing. We were so good friends. Like, she was really my best friend. But, like, we grew apart and we moved to different high schools and tralala. Another story. So we loved dancing. And there was this thing that was called a variety show, which was like a talent show that would take place every month or year. I don't remember how often it would take place, but it was a talent show for dancing. There was like dancing competition, there was modeling, there was eating competition. Yeah. There was I think laughing competition was also there. Some funny things. And I had never participated in a variety show before, I think. Yeah. I was more like I wasn't a chilled person per se, but I was not much of a person who presented in front of people, except for speeches. I was a debate and a public speaker, and that I would do. I had no problem doing it in front of people, but dancing and modeling, I love doing it, but just not in front of people. But anyways, this best friend of mine, she moved to our school when we were in grade 5. That's when we started knowing each other. So we were already been best friends for like 2 years now, and we were like really tight. And we both had the same interests, like dancing, silly stuff. So there was an upcoming variety show, and Linud and we planned on doing something new. Since it was our last year in primary school, right? It was grade 7, we were the seniors. We're like, come on, it doesn't matter now, whatever we do, if it's embarrassing, we're going to leave the school, so let's just do something that we hadn't done before. And we decided to mobilize a dance group and dance. Right, that wasn't even a bad thing. Like, it wasn't illegal or anything. It was like totally okay. But the thing was that how we went around about it and how we planned it, right? We didn't have any. I came from a very strict family So I wasn't really allowed to hang out with friends outside of school hours. Like, oh mom, I'm going to so and so's place. It was like a total taboo in my family. I grew up like that, and it was like the norm. It was just okay. But because of that, I couldn't meet with this dance group so that we could practice any other time outside school hours. So we decided to do it at school, right, at break time or at like free time, when since we're exam classes, we're not always learning, we just had to like read for ourselves or something. I don't even remember that much, just time we had in primary school. So that is when there's when my friend and I decided to mobilize this dance group, and we got a couple of girls. Actually, I think we're about 6. The other ones, I won't mention their names because I don't talk to them anymore, and I'm not sure they would want to be mentioned. But we mobilized a group, and we're like, where exactly can we practice? I have no idea why we didn't think of the school tennis court, the school grounds, anywhere else but the girls' toilets. So we're like, we're going to practice in the girls' toilets because our toilets, they were kind of big. They had like plenty of space in the middle. So we're like, wait, I need to get more. Where was I? Yeah. So we were like, let's do the dance practice in the toilets. And of course, the toilets were supposed to also be used by other people who were not in our dance group. And we didn't think of that because we were young and dumb and stupid. And then we're like, no, we're going to block everybody who's trying to get into the toilet because we don't want them to see our dances before before the variety show. And we didn't think of the consequences of that, actually, because my friend and I, we were like, how can I say it without sounding rude? We're like, I would say we're like the mean girls, but also the cool girls. if that was a thing in primary school. But yeah, we're those people who would just, I can't put it in words, but that was it. So we didn't think anybody would report us because we just thought people would suck up to us or anything. And another thing that is also important for this story is I was the head girl at the primary school that I'm talking about. And I'm sure anybody
from Zimbabwe watching this knows what a head girl is, but for those of you who do not know, like who grew up in another different school system, a head girl is like a student who's a girl who's selected by the teacher's body to be more like a leader of the other students in such a way of enforcing the school rules in the absence of the teachers. So like there were prefects, and then there was the head girl. So the head girl was like the overseer of the prefects. The prefects were also doing that job of like enforcing school rules and making sure everybody's doing this and this. If the teacher said this, stuff like that.
So I was the head girl, which makes the story worse because for some reason I thought nobody would report me because I was the head girl, but it was actually the other way around because I was a bit mean. During my role, yeah. But it doesn't matter now anymore. I'm sorry to everybody that was mean too. But yeah, so we were blocking the door and people would come, hey, I really need to go to the toilet, and then we were like, no, we're busy. I have no idea why we thought that was okay. Now when I think of it, I'm like, geez. And they're like, no, we're busy, right? So this girl went and reported to the teachers. And on that day, nothing happened to us. We finished our dance practice and we left the toilet, and then it was like good. And we're like so proud of ourselves, like, we're the 8 girls.
Okay.
And we got reported then to the teachers. And then the fact that I was involved, and I was a head girl, and these students like that are selected to be head girls and prefects were considered by the teachers to be the most well-behaved students. They wouldn't just pick anybody. They would pick somebody who they think has the leadership qualities to make sure that the rest of the students stay in line with the rules, because they are also like living by the rule, and they are well-behaved students, smart kids, the sort of thing, which a part of I was, but a part of I was just like a kid growing up. Yeah. So I got called to the staff room with the teachers, and then they asked me to and they asked me to explain if I know that I did something wrong, right? And then I'm like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. And then they're like, are you sure? Because we spoke to some students and they were saying something about you, which we would want to clarify with you. And then I'm like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. Mind you, I was so confident. And I would always walk with such a posture that don't you dare. So they were like, oh, are you sure? Because they were trying, to come to terms with me and negotiate with me before embarrassing me in front of many people. I was like, no, I don't think I did anything. And then they're like, okay. So I go back to class and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? And then my best friend gets called also into the staff room. I think I'm not really remembering like clearly how it went, right? But I need to get to the end point of it so that you guys understand the processes that took place. My best friend also gets called, and then she's like, I'm like, what's going on? What is it about? And then I don't remember if she told me or she didn't. But I guess she also didn't have any idea what it was about. And then a couple of people were being called. So now when many people were being called, I was starting to notice something. These are all the people in my dance group. Is it something about the dance group? Or I was getting a hint. And I'm like, oh shit, we're closing the door for people to enter it was starting to make sense. I was trying to connect the dots. But I already built up a defense for myself and stuff. But nevertheless, they finished the one-on-one sessions, and then the teachers, I think the teacher in charge also was called the TIC, and our class teachers and the school headmistress, and the deputy. Mind you, I was learning at a Catholic school. I'm also Catholic, by the way. It's also something I forgot to mention in my previous video. I need to stop saying also. Jeez. Yeah. I'm a Catholic. I went to Catholic schools only, except for grade 1 to grade 3 when I was at Kirkwood Junior, but went to Mero Primary School, Regina Mundi, Girls High, St. Ignatius College. They're all Catholic schools. And there's something you should know about Catholic schools. They're a bit stricter than other schools. And that's why some petty issues would be like considered a huge, oh my gosh. So, back to the story. The teachers in charge in the school, like just say the school administration block, they call a meeting in the auditorium, the school hall, right? And they invited all the grade 6s and the grade 7s, like the senior classes in primary school, and they were all inside the auditorium hall. I was also there together with my prefects and everybody. And there was this girl in particular who didn't like me, right? She didn't like the fact that I was the head girl, I think, and she was trying so hard to bring me down. But she doesn't matter anymore. We actually like resolved issues and we're good. The last time I met her, we were actually cool. But she was one of the people who reported me, I think. Not sure, but I suspect her. And we go into the school, and in my head, my mind is going crazy. I'm like, oh my god, what have we done? And now this embarrassment in front of grade 6s. But I'm glad though and grateful that they didn't call the entire school. Because it was gonna be worse. And then the teacher in charge stands up and says, "Oh, we're gathered here because of some miscellaneous students amongst us." And she calls out the names of all. And there were actually other things apart from just the dance group. There was also some of the people you're going to hear the crimes and laugh because it was totally silly. And then they call us all up on stage. I was the last one to be called because they say, and lastly, our very own school head girl. And then we get called up. And then the headmistress says, "You guys know why you're up there. We need you to come up front." We're like on the stage, right? The platform, the higher platform. I don't know what it's called in German. Yeah. But we're there. And you're supposed to walk up front and say your crime and explain yourself or try to like offer a defense against it or something. And then people were coming up, and then this girl comes up and she's like, "I don't know what I'm doing up here. I don't know what I did." And then they're like, "Oh, your crime."
You know your crime. And I don't know. I'm just saying like the most relevant parts. There were so many people who got caught up.
But one of the crimes that I found hilarious, or crimes to say, was this girl. was this girl who walked up, right? And she says,
"My crime is that I change the tone of my voice whenever there's someone of the opposite sex near me, which is like a boy."
And we were like growing up. This was the time of puberty. We were like literally adolescents. We were like, our heads were shooting up with hormones. We had no idea what we were doing. And in my head, I didn't even think that was okay. But now that I think of it, I'm like, come on, guys. They seriously held us accountable for these stupid little things. Like, I was changing my voice in front of boys. But the way she said it was hilarious. She's like, "My crime is that I change my voice in front whenever there's like a boy near me." And then the headmistress goes on to say, "So this voice that you're using, is it for the boys or is it your normal voice?" And then she's like, "It's neutral." I'm still seeing her face in my head saying this. But at that moment, I didn't laugh because I was shitting in my pants, scared that it's going to be my turn soon. And then the headmistress goes on to say, these people were having fun with us. You know, we were there, just helpless little sheep and at their disposal, and they could do whatever they want with us. And then the headmistress goes on to say, "Oh, we would like to hear this voice that you use when boys are close to you." And then the girl, she was also one of my friends. She was hilarious. But at that moment, she was very serious because she was scared. Then she's like, "I need a boy close to me so that I can talk like that." So she needed a boy to activate this voice that she would use. And then she's like, "Any volunteer?" And this guy came up and stood next to her. And then she's like,
"Oh my gosh, stop that."
I can't breathe.
An eternity later.
Yeah, I'm back. So, and then nobody laughed. There was dead silence when she said that. And the teacher's like, "Okay, thank you. You can go back." And then I come. It was my turn now. And then they're like, "What are you being accused of?" And I say, "I have no idea." I was trying to play smart as if like I'm innocent in this whole thing. And then I said, "I have no idea." And then this girl, the one I was telling you about, the one who didn't like me earlier on, who thought I was not the best candidate for the head girl, she also wanted to be the head girl, comes up and raises her hand, and then she says, "I
know what she did. And she's just like, yeah.
Tell us. And I was like, she mobilized the dance group, which was dancing in the toilets and not allowing other girls to use the bathroom or the water to use the bathroom. They're just looking at her and saying, but yeah. And then I was also being accused of some.
Because some boy, I don't even remember his name. Yeah, that he was always accompanying me home. But mind you, we were walking home as a group. Me and this girlfriend of mine, and then this boy. And this friend of mine and this boy were in the same class, right? So they were always talking together. I was just even a third wheeler in that friendship. But this girl, she just saw a boy. She just saw me. She removed the other girl from the scenario, and then she just said, they were
walking home, you know? And the boy was actually surprised, like, what? Why? No, I was silly, yes, and I was quite mischievous, but my mind and boys, it was just like we were just silly and crazy, you know. But I can't say I was like so fixated on like boys, like, oh my god, this boy, even though my best friend and I would like talk a lot and laugh and, you know, have like silly crushes, which everybody has when they're like 11 or 12. That was just about it. But it just hurt me so much that this girl stood up and spoke against me, because she was this type of person who was like so nice to me, and like, because she was also a prefect. She was also in my prefect's body, but she wanted to also be on top, which I get totally, and I have no vendetta against her. It's actually like funny now. But yeah, that was the thing. And and then the teacher is like, oh, is this true? And of course I denied, and I'm like, no, I have no idea. Why would you even align me with him and blah blah blah. I thought my only crime was dancing and stuff. And then the teacher is like, okay, fine, we had that you have a dance group. If we would say that you guys dance for us right now, what the dances you were dancing in the toilet, would you do it? Of course we wouldn't do it. We were not prepared. We needed our gear, we needed our groove to be there.
Okay.
We couldn't just dance. And then I'm like, oh, no, we can't do it. And in their mind, they interpreted that, oh, they can't do it because they were doing obscene dances which they can't show. But for fuck's sake, we're like practicing so that we dance for everyone on the variety show. Why would we do obscene dances? Up to now, I don't even know how to like twerk. I can't. I want to, but I can't. I don't know how to. How would they think that I was able to do it when I was 11? But yeah. I'm like, no, we can't do them right now, because of course we're not prepared. And to dance, they were going to like make such a laughing stock of us. We danced there and there was no music and stuff. That was what was going on in my little head. But the adults' head, they interpreted in another way. And they're like, okay, you guys are gonna get punishment and stuff. And the girl was waiting for them to announce that, and you're no longer head girl, because that's how like schools work in my country. If you do something wrong and you're in a prefect's body, you get out, just like that. But because I actually was like, I had good grades, my best friend and I were actually like pretty smart, even though we were stupid and silly, but we were like smart in terms of like our grades. We're showing up in the top 10 and stuff. So it wasn't easy to just get rid of us and push us to the bottom.
Oh my god!
You know, because they also didn't want to, you know, affect our learning, our learning grades and stuff, I guess, or maybe we were just good.
Yes, sir.
Like,
Yes, sir.
Yes, but sir. Yeah, bottom line, I didn't get demoted, and I didn't even get a hard punishment, in the sense that they were like, your punishment is to monitor the group together whilst doing the punishment. So my punishment was to supervise people doing punishment. That was my punishment. Ew! Which was pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. I don't care. And then they were doing the punishment and we did it together and I was helping them. It was pretty fun. And that was just about it. And that girl was like spiteful. She was so angry. Which is okay. I would have been angry too if I was in a position, you know. I think if she's watching this video, she's going to hate me a lot. But it was quite a hilarious story. And this was not the first time I got in trouble in a school scenario. The other scenarios I'm going to tell you some other time in another story time, because even though I was like somebody who would really try to do good in books, and I was like doing good in books, I still had like this crazy side of mine which always came out at the most unnecessary time, you know. But that was just about it. And if you guys enjoyed my video, please don't forget to give a thumbs up. And if you want to hear more stories and story times about how I got into trouble at school, which is probably going to be my next video, I'm not sure, don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, also that you are notified when I post a video. And if you haven't watched my other video about getting to know me, please go watch it and give it a thumbs up so that you understand the rest of the videos that I'll be giving you, because they're based on things I like and things I did and stuff. So don't forget to do that. And that's the wrap. Bye.